So we're going to start with part one of making the bandana project, and we need to have two of the same bandana, and you're going to make a tunnel or casing at the top of the bandana. So a couple things to look at. Number one is make sure you are using the wrong side of the fabric. Sometimes you can't totally tell, but on this one we can tell this has wording at the bottom, so that's going to remind us, go ahead and turn it over so that you're using the wrong side of the fabric. The other thing to think about is if you have any directional pattern, make sure they're going the same way on both pieces. So I've got my bandana laid out. This is going to be my top. This is going to be my bottom. It's on the wrong side up. I'm going to take the top of the bandana and I'm going to use the seam gauge or sewing gauge to measure 1.5 inches from the top. Lay that right there so I know that I have 1.5 inches. And then I'm going to pin the fabric in place. Then I'm going to move over to one side and again measure 1.5 inches so that the tunnel at the top or the casing at the top is always the same distance. Sometimes what kids do wrong is they will make it 1.5 inches here and then up here it's super short, and that will be difficult at the end of the project. So measure 1.5 inches, fold it down from the edge of the fold to that marker on the seam gauge, and then you're going to pin that down. Now I'm going to take this to the sewing machine and I'm going to sew right along this edge so that I still have all of this empty tunnel up here. I'm going to put this under the presser foot, and instead of lining it up with the 15 like we talked about when we practiced, I'm actually going to line up the edge of my presser foot right with the edge of the fold right there. And that's going to give me enough room here, but I'm going to use that edge in order to stay nice and straight. Notice I'm starting at the very tippity top of my bandana. I'm going to sew forward and back stitch, and then I'm going to sew all the way down, keeping the edge of my presser foot in line with that hem right there. Stay nice and straight. If your thread kind of goes out the other end, that's fine. And take out your pins as you go. Make sure you're staying straight. Nice and steady. And as I come to the end, take out the pin and then back stitch at the end here too. All right, take it out and trim your threads on both ends. And this is the last part of part one. I've done it on one and I've already done it on another, and now I'm going to go to part two.